Hello, my friends. Can you hear the silence? November is so quiet. The world is wrapped in fog, rain, and sometimes snow. Let's make the most out of it and enjoy the arrival of winter together. Hi. Hello everybody. Welcome to another video of me. I am Eva, if you don't know me. I live in Småland in southern Sweden. I moved here from Germany and I bought a little house, a little cottage here 2 years ago, and in this video I want to show and tell you a bit more about the house, the cottage where I live. Or I don't live alone there. My boyfriend, my little dog Simba, and we live there. I've filmed a little house tour for you, so you can have a look into each of the rooms of the house where we live. And I thought I could also share with you some of the things that for me, when I moved here, were different than what I was used to before moving to Sweden and specifically moving to the countryside in Sweden. I'm sitting here opposite of the cottage where I live. I'll show you. Yeah, those who have watched my last video, that was a tour through my garden, I told you already that this house was originally given to a soldier or the family of a soldier many years ago, more than 100 years ago. So everything in this house is very old. So it is not only the exterior is 100 years old. Actually, a lot of the things inside are, as far as we know or we guess, that those are also, pretty much original, or they have been added to the house during the last 100 years or so. So, actually, if you don't know that, here in Sweden, it's pretty common to buy the summer houses, and this was a summer house before we moved in, to buy the summer houses at least with the furniture and everything still inside. So we felt so lucky because we didn't just buy a Swedish house, we also bought the Swedish interior. And although it was very old and we changed some bits of it already, and we want to change some bits of it in the future as well, but still, It feels like we bought this kind of Swedish countryside lifestyle with the house. So what you will see in the house video I filmed are some old furniture, some new furniture, a little bit of the furniture we brought from Germany, but most of it actually is as we bought it. That's one big difference we noticed, that here in Sweden you buy the furniture with the house. And the second very important thing is that this house it's not off the grid, but it's kind of close. I mean, we do get one thing from the community, and that is electricity. We are connected to the electric network here, and that's very nice because I don't feel fit enough with all the electrical stuff to be able to just manage this myself. I'm happy that we get electricity from the community, but actually everything else is and they do collect our like waste and rubbish and stuff. They collect that, but actually those two things, like waste management and electricity, are the only things that we get supplied by the community, and of course we have to pay for it. But we actually have our own water. We also have our own system where the used or grey water then gets cleaned and released back into nature. And we have our own internet connection. We have that through satellite internet. And we have our own heating system. In Germany, it's very common to be connected to some kind of heating system through the community or the city. But here we have to take care of it ourselves. So what we have here in our house is electrical heating. Then we have I look up the word, and also we heat in the winter, especially we do a lot of the heating with wood in our little fireplace, and that's very different from Germany. In Germany, I was used to have all the rooms at like room temperature and maybe turn the heat up if I'm cold, but usually just having the whole house kind of heated throughout, just about like 20 degrees Celsius or so. And here we use our heating system very differently. We have no heat in the rooms that we don't use, or whenever we don't use a room, we turn off the heating completely. And when we do use a room, we kind of sit near a heating source, and then we turn it on. And with this, we don't actually heat the whole room up to a certain degree, but we have enough heat to be like very warm. We sit next to the fireplace or next to a heater or something like this, and we get very warm from the heat, but it's only temporary. Like, we don't have this all the time heat supply. We just use it sporadically wherever and whenever we need it. And for me, I really like that. I really like in the winter to kind of experience the temperature outside, but then also be able to like get warmed up very nice and very quickly. And this works very well for me. But I have to say that my boyfriend especially, and maybe my little dog Simba, I guess they would prefer a house more thoroughly warmed up, I guess. But maybe in the future, when we like have some renovations in the kitchen, for example, I guess we could think about having like heating in the floor or something like this, and then we could change it to a more like to a heating system that we both enjoy. But for me, I really like it. I really like it as it is now. So those were the main parts, or the main two differences, I think. But for me, a very big third difference, and I don't know if you would feel this way, but for me, I enjoy the wooden structure of the house because it feels very penetratable by sounds and wind and air. So I grew up in a at least part stone house, part wood, part stone house, and this is a very firm shield. A stone house is a very firm protection against the weather and the world outside. And I think when you live in a environment where there are many people, many cars, many like sound and light pollution, you want to have this kind of firm shield, walls and stuff from the house. You want to have them very like thick and protective. But here, I moved here for the nature. And the house where we live in, and many houses here in Sweden, are wooden houses, and the walls are not very thick. And the wood in itself lets air and temperature and especially sounds much more through. I think that was very bad English. I think you know what I mean. In this house, in this Swedish house, or like behind those wooden walls, you still feel much more part of the surroundings surrounding you, of the like environment. Yeah. Another part of this that actually the windows are not so well insulated. They are pretty old as well, and like wind and air can get through in between the window and the wall. And actually I do enjoy this as well because it's just so, yeah, it has a flow. Like I feel like wind and the environment can flow through a house. And this, I realize now that this must sound that we live like in a house with holes in the walls or stuff. No, of course it is just a regular Swedish house. Many people here live like this. It's just different to what I'm used to from living in Germany. And I know that in other countries or other parts of the world, it's the same thing. For example, I've been to New Zealand, where the weather is pretty nice most of the time. And there, the houses are very similar to the Swedish houses. I'm just wondering why here, where the weather is colder and sometimes pretty harsh, and yeah, the weather sometimes, the winters are cold in Sweden. And I wonder why they don't have these like thick protective stone buildings. I think it might be part of the Swedish culture to be kind of a bit more connected to nature. And yeah, I love that. I really enjoy that. Okay, so that was everything that I wanted to tell you beforehand. Maybe one last thing. Oh yeah, a very important thing. Sorry, I almost forgot. I guess the most important thing for me of everything I told you is I don't have any neighbors here. And this is something I didn't experience anywhere else before. It was wherever I lived, I had neighbors very close by. And here in Sweden, I just don't. This is the biggest luxury for me here in this house. So I don't want to keep you waiting any longer. I'll show you the house tour now. I'll show you through my house. And yes, let's go. Okay, before we go in, I think someone else wants to join us here. This is Baloo. He's a little Dalmatian. He's visiting from Germany, and although he already knows the house, I think we can take him with us and he can, just join in on our tour through the house. Okay, so this is the exterior of the house. This is the back side actually. Yeah, this is where we go into our house usually. We have 2 entrances, but this is the one we use most frequently. And from here you can go into the upper rooms. But before we do that, let's maybe just stay downstairs and we can start our tour in the kitchen. You can see the old wallpapers and everything is pretty old and kind of original, I think. We spend a lot of time here in the kitchen, of course. We could heat a fire if we want to. We can cook here, and that's just the place where we have our breakfast and lunch and dinner sometimes, and all or most of it is actually like original from the owners before. And behind this door in the kitchen, there's a little storage room. There we have our fridge and some clothes. I have my jackets in there. And yeah, just some food and stuff we couldn't store in the kitchen. That's pretty nice to have a little storage room like that. And through this door in the storage room, there is the bedroom. It's a very small room. It just has enough place or space for the bed, and I can store my clothes in there. But yeah, it's very nice small room. I actually really like the old tapestry on the walls. It's not very modern, but it's kind of cozy, and Simba likes it as well. And on the other side of the bedroom, there is another small room where you can also enter the house on this side. But this is our music room. We recently bought an old piano, and I have my guitar in there and my flute. And it's very small, but also kind of cozy. And yeah, we like to play some music in there, and I'm just so happy that we have a piano now. It's so nice. And through this door, there is our living room. This is, of course, also a room we spend a lot of time in. There is actually the fireplace, so we like to sit there, especially, of course, in the winter time when we have a fire in the fireplace. It's very warm, and it's actually a very, very old fireplace, but it gets so warm so quickly. That's great. And also some of the furniture in here was, of course, already in when we bought the house. And it's all very, very old looking. But we just really like it like this. And then, behind this door, there's the kitchen again. So we can actually walk like a kind of round through the downstairs floor. And one last room I didn't show you yet downstairs, and that is the bathroom with two very, very small rooms. One for a sink and a big mirror, and in the other small room there's the shower. And now that we have seen everything downstairs, let's go and take a look upstairs. My boyfriend and me, we both work from home, so we have upstairs primarily our two rooms where we work, but I also have a room for sewing. And this is a hobby I started one year ago. And I'm so happy that I have my very own sewing room already. And I love to spend time here as well. I realized that I didn't show you what I made in the video. I didn't really show you. So I wanted to just show it to you now. This is what is called a skirt hike. It's just, I made it from like leather scraps, and it is like adjustable in the height. You can like adjust it, and I'll show you in a minute how it works. And yeah, as I said, it's just leather, and how it works is you actually use it with a belt. So I've connected it to my belt here, and what it does, I can now take my skirt and I can clip it in here. So you have more mobility if you want. You can show your underskirts with this. So yeah, oops. So yeah, just a little thing out of leather, skirt hike. If you want to do it yourselves, it's very easy. And yeah, let's get back to the house tour. Okay, so upstairs, as I said, I have a room where I can work on my computer, and my boyfriend also has his own room where he can work on his computer. We also have upstairs 2 balconies. This here is one balcony where we can especially sit in the evening because it's facing west. And through this very kind of small room here, there is a second balcony which is facing east. And yeah, so we can just enjoy the sun in the morning, the sun in the evening. Although we don't actually use those balconies very often, I must confess. And now you have seen everything inside. In the last video you could see everything outside, and yeah, this was it. This was the whole tour through the house. Okay. I really hope that you enjoyed the little tour through my house, and yeah, I hope you have a better understanding maybe of the interior of Swedish countryside houses. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video very soon. And yeah, thank you for watching. And if you, like I said last time, if you have any questions about anything regarding life in Sweden, maybe just put them in the comments. Yes, I will answer your questions in a next video, in another video then. And yes, have a wonderful day. I hope you can enjoy this November weather a bit. Maybe just go outside if you can today. And yeah, I'll see you very soon and have a great day. Goodbye. Bye bye.